Hi, hello all. I'm Soumya. I'm working as assistant professor in the Department of Artificial Intelligence and Data Science in SNS College of Technology. Welcome to this session on visual encoding of data. In this lecture, we are going to explore one of the most fundamental concepts in data visualization and here how data is visually translated into shapes, colors, sizes and positions that our eyes and brain can understand instantly. Understanding visual encoding helps us to design the dashboards that are not only attractive but also meaningful and intuitive. Now let's we see what is visual encoding. Visual encoding refers to the process of mapping the data values to visual elements. These includes the attributes like position, color, shape, size, length, orientation, texture. For example, in a bar chart, the length of each bar encodes the value. In a scatter plot, the position of the points encodes two variables at once. Visual encoding is powerful because the human's brain processes the visuals faster than text or numbers. So the way we encode the data visually determines how quickly and accurately users understand the information. Importance of visual encoding. Visual encoding plays a major role in how effective a visualization will be. When encoding is done properly, users can spot the patterns instantly and compare the values easily and identify the trends or outliers. Understanding data in just a few seconds. However, poor visual encoding like using too many colors or confusing shapes forces the users to think harder. That increases the cognitive load and reduces the clarity. The importance of visual encoding lies in one idea, that is, good visuals guide the attention. Poor visuals create the confusion. Now let's begin with the problem statement. In many dashboards, we see the visual encoding that are inconsistent, overloaded or simply inappropriate. For example, using bright colors for non-important values and using the same color for different categories and using the shape that look too similar and using the chart types whose encoding doesn't match the data. When visual encoding is strong, users don't just misunderstand the graph, they lose the trust in the dashboard. Here, the problem we are solving is how do we choose the right visual encoding so users can interpret the data quickly and correctly. Empathize. In the empathize stage, we observe how users interact with the visuals. We check for pain points like where users hesitate, whether they can differentiate the colors, whether icons or shapes make sense, and whether they got distracted or get overloaded. For example, colorblind users may not differentiate red and green. Some users prefer minimal visuals with fewer shapes. Empathy helps us to understand that visualization is not just about data, it's about designing for human perception. Next stage is define stage. After empathizing, we define the main requirements for effective visual encoding. First one is accuracy. The encoding must correctly represent the data. Then clarity. Users should interpret the data without any extra effort. Then consistency. Same colors or shapes must always represent the same categories. And perceptual effectiveness. Some encodings are easier for the human brain to process. For example, position is more accurate than color intensity. These definitions guide our design decisions moving forward. Next stage is ideate stage. In the ideation stage, we think about the most effective visual encodings for different types of data. Examples include using position on a graph for precise comparisons and using length for ranking or magnitude and using size for proportional values and using color to categorize but not to show the exact values and using the shape only when categories are distant. We sketch multiple versions of visuals, bar charts, line chart, heat maps and evaluate which encoding communicates the message best. Ideation is where creativity and analytics meet. Next stage is prototype stage. In the prototype stage, we implement these visual encoding ideas into tools like Power BI or Tableau. We experiment with color palettes, chart types, label placements, and icon choices, line thickness, and shapes and marker sizes. This is where the ideas become real visuals. The goal isn't perfection, is it to create a testable version that users can respond to. Next stage is testing stage. Testing is crucial. We show the visual prototype to users and observe how they interpret it. We analyze, do they understand what the color means? Do they find the shapes meaningful or confusing? And do labels support or distract from the graphic? Do user misread anything? Testing helps us to refine the visual encoding choices to ensure clear communication. To summarize this session, visual encoding is the foundation of data visualization. It transforms the numbers into visual elements we can perceive instantly. Good encoding reduces the cognitive load and improves the comprehension. And poor encoding causes the misinterpretation and information overload. Through design thinking approach, empathize, define, ideate, prototype and test, we choose the best encoding for each data type. Always remember, your visualization is only as good as the visual encoding behind it. If the encoding is clear, the story becomes clear. Thank you for watching.